Good afternoon again. One of the ways presence has been described is as a safe and loving space. I wonder if I could dwell on that for a little while. A safe and loving space. Gosh, when I think back to my years of agonizing over not having a safe and loving space, most of my life, I suppose, or even if they were sort of in that direction, they were never really totally sufficient there. I suppose many of us, through the partners we choose and the homes we aspire to have, are trying to find that safe and loving space. To hold and be held, to love and be loved. Yes, we get many variations of it, but somehow they nearly always leave us with something still missing. They're not really totally satisfying, are they? So we're forever searching the roaming eyes, looking around for something better. A safe and loving space. It's such a deep, instinctive hunger, a yearning in us, all of us, I suspect. A safe and loving space. Especially those of us that have known loss and deprivation in our lives. Well, what we had of it has been taken away from us. We once more find ourselves alone. Of course, the opposite of this is loneliness, which is such a feature of so much of our lives. I suspect nearly everybody's life, to some extent. That less than total, safe and loving space. So really our progress in life is through many forms of this. We have it, we lose it, or we get tired of it, and it comes to an end one way or another. We move on once more into the great search. We may find it again, lose it again, many times. Many times, almost without end in this human world, which by its nature comes to pass, where all is temporary. Spring turns to summer, turns to autumn, and we're back to winter again. Life turns to death. Beauty fades. Youth turns to age. And those that work with spirit seemingly, well, what can I say? If we're blessed, we may realize that what we're searching for is not really an alternative to these worldly searchings, but it's through development, it's through their maturity, it's through their Let me put it another way, my dear. Long, long ago, I realized that the answer to all our failures in love is to love yet more, and yet more, and yet more. Because love is one of the few things in life that expands and expands without limit. Or it can expand, because we don't all let it expand, do we? So often we keep it held within bounds of my possession, my love, my woman, my man. But because we're children in school, sooner or later these the grip of our personal hold on life is broken, is released. And we expand into a greater possibility. And gradually the division between the visible and the tangible and the invisible and the intangible becomes more blurred, less definite and less distinct. And particularly as we grow older, we move more into the intangible, the invisible. And there, marvelously, we find that beyond limits, we haven't really lost anything in the world. We've simply expanded beyond it into the infinite, safe and loving hold. It is the ultimate reality that underlies all things. And it's like a sort of spiritual gravity that holds all things together, which I suppose is why old hymns have talked of God holding the whole world in his hand, and the everlasting arms holding us all in the infallible embrace. When the temporal woman becomes the eternal, and the temporal man becomes eternal, and the spiritual union, the mystical union, is complete. The two become one. There's hope, my dears. So finally, we see that what may start as a young person, a young woman, a young man's longing for that safe and loving space. See, don't give up on it, my dears, no matter how often and how painfully we lose it. Keep it alive in your hearts. And, well, let me just tell you from my own experience, you find it. You find it in a glory unthinkable, unconceivable in this world. And all lesser loves are contained in this greater one, where all problems are dissolved away in the perfect mystical unity of one, safe and loving, infinitely safe and loving space. It's really, really true. God bless you, dears. until the next.